Hi everybody, this is Joe Barbieri here from the New City Library, and today we're going to talk about a way for genealogists to connect, and that is the Groups.io message board. And this is just another tool that you can use if you're into genealogy to connect with other genealogists, ask questions, give advice, and share hints and tips, things like that. So you may be asking, why did this come about, this message board? And that's basically because there was the demise of RootsWeb, and RootsWeb discontinued their news group service, so kind of an email exchange in March of 2020. RootsWeb has since been directing folks to the Ancestry.com message boards, but those you need a paid Ancestry subscription to contribute to. You can look at them, I think, through, for instance, our library access here, but in order to participate and post on them, you need a paid subscription. So this message board was created as another option to, again, connect with other folks doing genealogy in the Hudson River Valley. And when we say Hudson River Valley, we mean all the counties going up and down the Hudson, physically touching the Hudson River there. So we've got quite a bit of land to cover and geographic area to cover, but that includes where a lot of us are from here in Rockland County. So Rockland, Westchester, Orange, all part of this as well. So what is this Groups.io Hudson River Valley group? It's a message board. There are threads or topics, and people can add to these and post on them. That's why a thread, you're following this thread of conversation. Non-members can view these, but they can't post, and you can also receive email notifications that are similar to the old RootsWeb email lists as to the goings-on and the activities on this message board. Okay, so how do we get there? It is https://groups.io/g/ny-hudsonrv, and that last portion is all in caps. Now, when we get there, we're going to first need to make an account. You can actually view what's going on and what people are posting on there without making an account, but if you want to participate, you're going to have to give them an email address. You make up a username and a password, and of course you'll be able to actually interact with the other folks who are on this board. So just something I want you to be aware of, this is built off of very general message board software. A lot of the features that are on this message board are there, but you might not necessarily get to use them. So what we're going to do now is we are going to sign in under my account here, and we're going to take a look at what we get when we sign up with this message. First, when we come to the main part of the page, there's some basic info at the home page section. Some of the basic rules, things to be aware of on this page. The moderator will overlook some posts and topics here. The moderator is the board creator, Pat Connors. She's a genealogist. It's not instant, so just so you know, if you make a post, she'll usually run by it first, make sure it's not spam or anything that's totally unrelated to genealogy, and she will, there might be a little bit delay, especially at first when it's your first time posting. So I just want you to be aware of that. So that's kind of the information that we have here on our home page of some of the basic rules and just some basic information about the page. The main portion of the page is the Messages tab over here on the left, and this is where most of the action happens. When we are looking at the messages, the most recent ones will be posted at the top of the page, and you'll notice that it does go back several pages, and we can go back. And as we go down the page, that goes further back in time, and those are the threads or topics. We're going to use those terms interchangeably. That's kind of the message board terminology. And the further down the page they are, the older they are. So I just want you to be aware of when you have not clicked on a thread yet, the color will be blue, and then it will be kind of a grayed out color when you have clicked on it already. Over here we have the number of replies that this particular thread has gotten. So after clicking on a thread, we get a couple other options within it. We can read the body of the post here, and usually it's someone offering up a question or maybe a piece of advice, or they found some useful information and they want to share it. And we've got some other down below. You'll see everyone's responses below it. Okay, so up here in the top right corner, we have this link icon, which is very useful for getting back to the particular post. All the posts are numbered, as you can see here. So if you want to get back to a particular one, you can remember the number, or you can bookmark it or link to it and share it with other people if need be. Posting a reply. So this is how we can jump in the conversation on a particular topic. It's similar to an email editor. You're going to hit reply, and just remember that it's going to reply. Your reply is going to be posted at the very bottom of the thread, and it's going to go out to everyone in general. You can reference another post with the little quote icon over here, and that's how, if you wanted to refer back to something that someone else said, maybe a few posts prior to yours, you can put that in there, and people will know that you are looking at or responding to a post made by someone else before. Just remember, if you see someone with this show quoted text button here, you can see what they're referring back to in their post, okay? Because your post is always going to go at the very bottom of the page. So a very similar set of tools to replying as if you were replying in an email message. So if you use email pretty regularly, these tools here are going to be pretty familiar to you. The other options that you have are to reply in a private message. And what this does is basically it's still in the message board editor here, but it will take that message and spin it around and shoot that person an email instead. And that's a private or a direct message where other people on the board will not see that. And that can come in handy if maybe you have some family or information that you don't want to blurt out to everyone on the board there. And you'll see sometimes people will ask other folks to message them privately on there. To start a new topic, a new thread, we have this little pencil and paper icon here on the left on our main portion of the page here, and that will let us start a new topic. And of course, to do that, we have to give it a subject matter about what it's about, and then type out our body. And after we type up our message body in the body area here, we can say send, and it will go out to the message board and folks can respond to it. Again, be patient. A message board is a more passive conversation. People will check in when they have time, and it may take a while for you to get a response, or you may not get a response at all if no one on the board has any real information or insight to share on that. Okay, so just be aware. But that's why we're doing this video here, to grow the board so that hopefully we can build up a bigger user base and more people will have knowledge that they're going to share on the message board here. Things to remember when you're doing this, when you're just using the message board in general, basic email etiquette and internet etiquette applies here. Just try and keep in mind, give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Everyone is at different stages in their research and level of expertise in both genealogy and the message boards. One thing that you can do ahead of time to make sure that you don't double up on topics, so we don't have two topics going on about very similar or the same thing going on at once, is to do a search beforehand. Someone may already have a response or made a thread about this already. Okay, so there is the search button here that we can type in basic search and maybe try a few of those with a couple of keywords or surnames to make sure no one else has a topic on that already. Try to stay on topic when you're just in conversation here in general. Don't use the caps lock. People will think you're shouting at them. Don't use a lot of sarcasm either. Again, it's pretty difficult to tell. It can be difficult to tell when people are joking or being sarcastic online. Be as direct as possible. And just try to keep it civil. You may come into contact with other folks who have different ideas or different interpretations of evidence. Just remember, you're disagreeing with the idea, not necessarily the person behind it. Don't make it personal, and let's all try to get along and keep it as civil as possible. Other features of the board. There is a hashtag feature. We don't have one for Rockland County at the time of the creation of this video in early November of 2020, but someone out there might make it. It's not the best system because things like hashtags only work well if everyone uses them. But you can do the search, and that does work pretty well. Like we mentioned, that might be something that you can do to check to make sure you're not making a redundant topic. The other thing I want you to be aware of is you do have some settings that you can tweak in your profile here. You can add a little bit about yourself. You can add a picture if you'd like. If you have a website that maybe one for genealogy, you can direct people there. And again, you don't have to use all of these features. This is just something that I want you to be aware of. And keep in mind, be careful about what you share. I would say be just as careful as any other genealogy site that you might be using for connecting with other people, be it something like Ancestry or Family Search or one of the DNA services out there. Maybe if someone wants to direct message you, they can do that on this. Once that conversation starts over email, you'll be able to see their email address and they will be able to see yours as well. So just be aware of that, and just be aware of how much you are sharing with the rest of the folks on this board. And just keep in mind that things that you post on here, anyone on the internet can see those. The other thing that I just wanted you to be aware of is the subscription feature. And that's because initially when I signed up, the default setting was to get an email about every single post that came up. And you'll see there are several other kind of digests or wrap-ups that you can get, or summaries for the day. And right now I have it just set, for instance, to just send me a little bit of daily activity, a daily activity email, so I can see what topics are being posted in each day. So I get one a day, and it's a quick summary of what's going on there. That is the more or less the long and short of the Hudson River Valley Groups.io message boards. There are other features on here. We only covered really the most basics here today. And again, this is something that you can try out. It's just, again, another way that you can connect with other people who are interested in genealogy. Okay, so this has been Joe from the New City Library, and thanks for sticking with me through this video, and I hope you give this a try if this sounds like something that interests you. Take care.